gay. But that's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching.
I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel. Casual racism is still racism. Casual bigotry is still bigotry. I know that this apology isn't enough. I've clearly done a lot of damage.
As I covered in my last few videos in this recent IDubbbz debacle, he dropped this a horrible apology video that was so over the top and cringe, where I'm all for changing, as I've explained many times. You know what, just watch those videos if you kind of want to get my gist of things. But what we're here to talk about today is Hasan Piker, world-renowned known 9/11 supporter.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
One of the smartest individuals online who always gives the best take and most rational take on all topics. I suggest his Twitch streams. You should go watch him right now. Unsubscribe from me, go subscribe to Hasan. And recently he gave his shitty takes on this whole IDubbbz situation, responding to actually Critical's video of him being critical of IDubbbz. But it's so ironic too, because Critical is middle of the road on this topic, just very similar to how I am, where it's fine for IDubbbz to change. It's fine for IDubbbz to do anything he wants with his content as a 32-year-old man. But at the end of the day, we're still gonna call you cringe if you do something cringe. And this recent apology video, as I've explained in many other videos, was so over the top and obnoxious and misrepresenting his old videos to such an extent that it was an embarrassment. Like, he was never making racist or bigoted content. To reduce all of IDubbbz's old content to just him saying slurs or him being a racist is incredibly disingenuous and just misses the mark of everything that he covered and what he stood for. I mean, the main argument that people call out all the time, which is what we're gonna see in this Hasan dumbass video, is him making the argument of all are okay or none are okay, which was strictly just to point out hypocrisy. But here, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is what Hasan had to say when covering the whole Critical IDubbbz situation.
I'm gonna call it. No matter how much Normie Jesus has cultivated a fucking fan base of people on both sides of the political spectrum, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be rubbed the wrong way from this. There's no way. This almost feels like a Sunny V2 Ninja video at this point, where he's just like, this apology is not warranted. You're flogging yourself. You don't deserve this. Like, that's not what he's saying. He's taking ownership over some of the fucking dog shit stuff that he did, which is what men do, okay? You're an adult, you're a man, you took accountability for it.
I'm not looking to get political, but it's insanely ironic that Hasan says it's taking ownership of the dog shit stuff he did, which is what men do. This is the same guy who claimed that saying America deserved 9/11 and blamed English being his second language for saying it. Just to put in perspective, the guy who's criticizing someone else in this situation. But the opinion that Critical and both I hold as well, that this apology was not warranted, is not to say that IDubbbz can't change as a person, or he always needs to be in 2016 content cop mode making fun of Leafy's chin. No, this is not at all. The points that warranted IDubbbz's criticism in this case was how over the top his apology was, with statements saying that he made racist and overall bigoted content in the past, and also saying that obnoxious statements like he's gonna have to carry this burden for the rest of his life, for how he's alluding that he ruined a whole generation of kids with him using edgy slurs in 2016 for comedic effect and shock value. Yeah, dude, you ruined a whole fucking generation of kids with that one. Where again, IDubbbz never promoted or endorsed any usage of slurs. He simply used them for comedic shock value, and as well, in the Tanamangu case, to just point out hypocrisy. So that's why people say that this apology wasn't warranted, because it's too over the top. Just change your content over time, which is what you've been doing. No one needs your whole content to just be apology video after apology video, which is what his whole channel has become as of late.
The way he talks about this content makes it sound like he used to fucking murder puppies for these videos, which it was never that extreme. I very much would consider.
Bro, come on, Charlie. He was fucking screaming the N-word at people, dude. What the fuck?
Screaming the N-word at people. The most charitable interpretation. Glad that this is the #1 political streamer in the world and on Twitch. Glad that we got him talking about the toughest topics in America and in the world.
It's not like he was doing race crimes individually, but like it's straight up probably like the most openly recognized unacceptable action.
So true, Kane. Pander and virtue signal more, buddy. And I guess all context is just completely thrown out the fucking window when it comes to Hasan, which is no surprise, to be honest, because I would love to see the old content IDubbbz was making, screaming the N-word at people, where the one thing that even comes semi-close is in the Tanamangu content cop, where again, was a comedic skit and shock value. This was no hateful content where he was going around screaming the N-word.
And Ian even recognizes that in his video, which I really liked. You were doing that because you weren't fucking funny and you desperately wanted to be funny and you wanted to get a reaction out of people and it wasn't fucking funny, but like all of the unfunny fucks loved it because they also wanted to be funny and they thought, haha, this is how I get reactions out of people.
So true, Kane. You couldn't apply the same exact standard to yourself. No, and all the previous edgy things you've said.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Like, why are you debate lording someone's fucking apology for saying the N-word all the time? Oh my god, dude.
So true, dude. Is everything just optics with these motherfuckers and just painting people out to look like the worst dudes of all time? Like, if that's the impression you got, is that Charlie was debate lording IDubbbz for saying the N-word all the time. Like, this whole sentence is fucked. That for just because Charlie made a video talking about IDubbbz, he's now debate lording because he disagrees with someone, and as well that IDubbbz was just saying the N-word all the time. It's so sad that this is like what his old content, as me, an active viewer, it's so sad that that's what it's been reduced to with all these fucking dipshits who have no clue what his previous stuff was about. And IDubbbz further emboldens these dumbasses' opinions too, because he's been so cucked by his girlfriend, by other people, the overall around internet, to believe that he's been such a racist bigot who needs to reform and needs to come to the light and donate all of his money, all of his wealth and riches that he got from being a bigoted racist online. Give all your wealth to the minorities, IDubbbz. Go lick the feet and apologize to all the people you made content cops on, even though 90% of the videos were just legit criticisms and had nothing to do with slurs or shock humor.
I get where Charlie's coming from to a certain degree, but like, this video does have like a super negative slant to it. I think like a lot of people looked at that and went, dude, what the fuck? Like, but there's a lot of content that you made that was great. And even I had that takeaway where I felt like he didn't differentiate enough.
This is the craziest clip right here, because this just shows how much Hasan has to pander to his left fucking audience, his left-leaning, liberal, communist-ass audience. Because he literally agrees with the main sentiment that Critical is expressing in this case, that it was over the top and an apology wasn't warranted, and that IDubbbz himself isn't differentiating enough from him just being an edgelord, slur, sayer all the time, versus having valid criticisms, which was 95% of his content, versus all that other stuff. Hasan literally agrees with that, and he's saying right now that it was a little bit too much and he went a little bit overboard in this apology, and he didn't need to do all of that. But everything's optics with this motherfucker. Everything is just pandering and worrying about how his audience and other left-leaning creators think about him online. Can never share an honest, genuine own opinion that he comes to the conclusion to himself. And if you're familiar with Hasan at all, you know that he is an absolute pattern of this. Just watch some of Willie Mack's videos on him.
You shouldn't have to apologize for criticizing someone or something. Voicing.
Yeah, this is okay. Look. This is what I mean. This part is the only part that I also kind of saw where I was like, man, I don't really get it. Like, I don't really know why he's like, kind of shitting on his own content cops. Like a lot of the content cops were like valid.
He literally agrees. He agrees with the main point that's being expressed here. Jesus.
Does Charlie not know Ian says slurs law? No, he does. I think he does. I think he just thinks that, oh, he was just doing it to be like funny. And he wasn't doing it because he was like ideologically right-wing or a Nazi or whatever, which I don't think he was either, for the record. But I do think he was racist. You can't just be like, yeah, I say the N-word all the time, and I make an advocacy for saying the N-word all the time and not like be racist. But
I say the N-word all the time, and I make an advocacy to say the N-word all the time. Who the fuck is he talking about? Who is he talking about? Is he talking about slave owner, plantation owners back in the 1800s or whatnot? Who the fuck is he referring to? Because I know it's not IDubbbz. Please show me one fucking clip where he's shown advocacy for saying the N-word. This is just so crazy. The just blatant misrepresentation of what he stood for in the past is like so insane. How it just goes on and goes on and even gets emboldened even more because IDubbbz himself is cucking to people like this, to us, the Hasans of the world.
He very clearly was pro saying the N-word and was giving people the arguments to say the N-word, and that was bad.
True. That's what I remember. That's what I remember IDubbbz being. Pro N-word. Pro saying the N-word. And also giving people the ammo. Giving people the ammunition of the arguments of how to say the N-word in your daily life. Go up to your mom. Go up to the local whatever street. And first minority you see, call them the N-word. Call them all the slurs you know. Because that's what IDubbbz stood for. That's what IDubbbz stood for in the past. Let's just take a little peek into what IDubbbz's argument was again.
We are very fucking stupid to hold the word at this colossally high standard, whereas every other slur, that can be used in a comedic sense or an editorial sense, but not this one, because that one has history. Well, guess what, fucking retards? All the other ones have history too. Zipperhead? Yeah. Asian people didn't get their fucking heads ran over in World War II. They weren't thrown into internment camps. But you can't say that one because it's got sort of it's guttural. Either all of them are okay or none of them are okay. It's either all okay or none of it's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a guy who's giving someone the arguments and advocating for saying the N-word. He isn't just making an hypocrisy point on how it's stupid to hold one word in such high regard as opposed to something else. No, not that. What a fucking dumbass.
Just made edgy YouTube videos. You didn't ruin anybody's life. You didn't create
Wrong.
He did ruin someone's life, true.
Ian didn't invent racism, obviously, but he certainly fucking played a not insignificant role in giving people the weapons to fucking be racist as they want to for an entire generation. He was
Holy fucking cringe. He literally is saying he ruined a generation of kids. Giving them the weapons, giving them the AR-16s to bust into that school and just shoot up all the classmates. True, dude. He practically did that. He gave all the kids the ammo to just call all the local black kids N-words. True. That was IDubbbz. That's the IDubbbz I remember.
I mean, don't people think that of you? Where's your apology? Of me for what? You think you want, who do you want me to apologize for? Let me ask you, actually. Who do you think I should apologize to? White people for saying cracker? Is that who I should apologize to?
And there it is. There's the logical consistency of Hasan wrapped up in its own small little clip right there. Shout out to that chatter for showing how much of a retard and inconsistent he is. So he's just completely fine. He's literally going up against the same argument old IDubbbz made in 2016, 2017 of all are okay or none are okay. And Hasan is a fucking hypocrite because he thinks that people should just be able to go around saying cracker and calling people crackers. If you remember in a recent drama that Hasan was in, he recently caught himself in a situation where he was awarding the cracker pass to another creator, Twitch streamer, Bruce Drop Him Off, who was literally using cracker in a derogatory way, calling white people, you're a whole bunch of crackers, white people. Which, hey man, I've said it time after time, I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna offend me with something so silly. I'm not offended. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy and how fucking silly it is that you think that you can use any slur that's on the basis of someone's race to attack someone else. Like, these don't align. You can't get mad at people using the N-word in a derogatory way and not also get mad at people using cracker in a derogatory way. You sound retarded. Yes, one more has more weight than the other, but at the end of the day, they're all racial slurs. Why don't we just, hey, not insult people on the basis of their race, because that's unironically racist, which apparently you're so against being racist, Hasan, except if it's against white people, because you're a cuck to like the recent socialist, recent liberal ideology where you can do whatever the fuck you want to people because that's based and fake edgy. It's just the most cringe shit ever, and if you view what I'm saying right now as self-victimization and I'm victimizing myself, you're retarded. I'm pointing out hypocrisy.
He thinks it's not that big of a deal. Like, what he did was not that big of a deal. It was. It's not just cringy. It was a fucking big deal. Routinely making arguments about why you should be able to say the N-word and F-word is a big deal.
Yeah, this is just about how smart Hasan gets and how far his brain reaches into his nervous system to come to the best conclusions in the world. Just misrepresenting the fuck out of people, not even giving a fuck, saying that IDubbbz was making arguments to say the N-word and F-word. Just the most honest interpretation of all of his messaging. Good work. Glad that this is the most popular political Twitch streamer. That's who we need on the field, fighting the good fight. But yeah, Hasan's a retard. Nothing new. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow.